Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Corner Office Chats. Mehreen 𝐸𝐫𝐤 here. Alexis wasn't able to make it today, and so you have got just me. And what are we talking about? We're talking about more Ahs and less Ughs so that we can create that work-life balance that we all are trying to achieve, right? More so now that we're into the summer season. Kids are at home. We're trying to do all the things we may have after being in the pandemic and everybody out traveling. We want to get out more. But the thing is that work never stops, right? Our businesses still run. Our jobs are still going. So we still have to show up as leaders. So that's the topic that we're talking about today is how do you create that work-life integration so we can feel more whole as ourselves and not feel like each day is a struggle. So let's go through that today. The first thing that we're going to talk about is develop a system that works for you. Developing a system is really important for making sure that you're constantly achieving your goals. So think about it this way. If you're always just making goals each day, then once you achieve them, then it's the next. It is the next. So goals really is a means to an end, right? So what you want to do is look at when you have goals, you need to put a system in place to achieve those goals. So whatever it is, whether it's working on your health, whether it's trying to achieve an income or sales revenue goal, whatever it is, you want to put systems in place that'll help you achieve that success. So what do systems do? They allow us to progress towards our goals every single day. So whether that's, making phone calls that you need to make, whether it's putting time on your calendar, whatever that looks like, it will guarantee success and it'll help you reach those milestones to get to your goal. And putting those systems in place will also avoid that feeling of spinning your wheels all the time. Now, going back to once you reach a goal, what happens? What happens is that you achieve it, you feel happy, but then that fades very quickly. You feel that need to achieve some next goal, right? There's always the next and the next. And it feels as though you're always chasing something. I don't know how many of you have ever felt that, but it always feels like you're chasing something. So if you have a business and you want to generate a $50,000 revenue over the next couple of months, what you want to do is look at what systems can I put in place to make sure that I actually achieve this goal. So maybe every morning you're waking up, the first thing that you do is make 3 cold calls. So that's an example, right? So when you're, whatever that goal is, look at what systems you can do to make sure that you're doing that. For some of you, it may be accountability. You may want to have a checkpoint. If you're working in corporate America, when we have goals, right, there are goals there, you'll have those goals. You want to set up weekly touch points. Maybe you're meeting with the team. Maybe you're, having PowerPoint presentations to show where you are. So you get systems in place to make sure that people are on task to achieve those goals if you're leading a team. So think about it that way. About these systems, Alexis and I talk about Atomic Habits by Scott Adams. If you haven't read his book, it's really, really great. I was just thinking, I don't think I have it here with me, but it's a really great book. If you haven't read it and you really want to up-level your game and your productivity, you must get this book. Hands down the best. You can even look him up on YouTube. It's Atomic Habits by Scott Adams. He says, if you focus on one particular goal, your odds of achieving it are better than if you have no goal. But you also miss out on opportunities that might have been far better than your goal. So with a system, you are less likely to miss an opportunity because you were too focused on another, okay? With a system, you are always scanning for an opportunity, right? So going back to the example that we gave, that if you're setting aside time every day every morning to make 3 cold calls, then you've put a system in place for opportunities to happen, right? So that's what you want to look at, is what systems can I put in place? If you're on a weight loss journey or a healthier lifestyle journey, then you want to put systems in place to make sure that you achieve them, right? So if that's an accountability coach that's helping you along with what you're doing with your foods, or the time that you're putting into place so that you can go for that walk or go to the gym, right? That's a system that you're putting in place. He also says, when you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running, and a system can be successful in many different forms, not just the one you first envision, right? So if you've got a goal that you're wanting to achieve and you've got the system in place, there may be other benefits that you're going to achieve from it, not just reaching that goal, but other benefits. So maybe you get, because you're making those cold calls, you make some great connections. Or maybe you put that system in place that you're going for a walk, that's more meditative, and you become more focused or more connected with your body. There'll be other benefits that you'll start to have an opportunity to create for yourself that is much better for the longer term than just achieving that goal. So that's one way to look at it, right? So the second thing that we want to talk about for creating that work-life integration, really having those more ahs and less ahs, is wake up earlier. I know this is like that basic thing that everybody's always talking about. Oh, if you wake early, riser, you'll be able to achieve more. Well, it is true, because studies have shown that night owls are more prone to negative thought patterns. And why is this? Because we tire ourselves out. How many times have you been irritated with another person, or you're doing that blaming to other people, or you start having those negative thoughts when you're not being productive, and you start towards the end of the day, start thinking about all the things you didn't do and all the things you need to do, then those negative thoughts start to happen. So notice that if you are staying up late, hey, I'm a victim of this as well. I'm very guilty that there are times that I stay up much later than I should. And what I've realized is when I do that, the next day I feel more groggy, more tired, more frustrated, less patient, right? All those things start to factor in. So being mindful of, putting a routine in place so that I can wake up earlier, or for you to wake up earlier, is really, really vital for you to have that productivity level, that work-life integration that you want to create for yourself. Also note that early risers increase their chances of success. And let me tell you why. When you start to go to bed earlier, you get up earlier, right? And you get up earlier, and you're able to tackle the things that you really need to get done. It's all quiet, people aren't interrupting you. You're able to work on the things you want to do, even if it's not for work, even if it's for yourself. You can have that quiet time to plan out your day, visualize your day. How are you going to walk into each meeting? Spend that time for self-care. Maybe it's going for that early morning walk that you've been striving to do. So you want to take that time when you're getting up earlier to give that chance for success. So a couple of tips: go to bed earlier. Make sure you're turning off the screens at night, right? So that we call it the power down hour. Alexis and I talk about this. If you've been in any of our workshops, we talk about that last hour. You must power it down so that you can start getting your mind ready to be going into that bedtime routine. And that's part of creating that sleep routine for yourself, whether it's a bath, whether it's reading a book, whether it's cleaning up and making sure you're in bed an hour before so that it gives your mind time without your phone, right? Whatever it needs to be, you want to create that type of routine. Also, getting some exercise. If you're not getting exercise, maybe take a late evening walk. It may tire you out some. Exert some of that energy so that you can feel tired enough to go to sleep. And when you notice that you are feeling sleepy, Don't fight through it, right? You want to acknowledge that your body is tired and needs to rejuvenate so that you can be at your optimal level. So you want to make sure that you're going to bed and recognizing those cues to have you go to bed. And what starts to happen is when you start doing that, a habit starts to form and your body knows that you're listening to your cues, and it'll tell you when you're tired, right? Number 5, make sure that you keep your alarm clock at a safe distance. So safe distance that you can get there without breaking your leg, walking over it, but at a distance enough that it gets you out of bed so that you can get yourself going. And then go straight into the bathroom if you have to splash some cold water. That's another tip that we say is splash cold water on your face to really wake yourself up. And lastly, what you could look at is give yourself a reason to get up, right? Whether, it's meeting your trainer to go work out. Maybe it's going out for breakfast with a friend. Get yourself up early and find that your productivity will start to go up. All right, so number 3, back to the next one. Let me get this up here. Cut out the distractions. Okay, we know this. We know what distracts us. We know that we're guilty of this. We all are. But it's being very mindful. So it goes back to those systems. What systems are you going to put in place to make sure that you're avoiding distractions? Okay, so the first tip to that, to avoiding distractions, is make plans the night or the day before. When you're making plans the night or day before, then you're making sure that you don't get distracted with empty space on your calendar to do things that aren't productive for you. The other thing is cut out the social media. And a lot of us as entrepreneurs are focused on social media, but be very intentional with it. Notice how much time you're spending on it. It's very easy to go down that wormhole of, I'm looking at this. Oh, I want to read about that. Now I'm reading about this. And I forgot. Oh, she posted that. Let me go check what that is, right? Or that's a really cool gadget. Let me go to Amazon and buy it. Let me go to Amazon. Let me go back to, social media. So all those things, you want to be mindful and even look at maybe removing those apps from your phone so you're not tempted by it. You'll find that just try it for a couple of days and see how much more time you get back in your day. I always say what time management is not a thing. It's really activity management. So notice your activity. We all have the same 24/7, okay? But the people who are really achieving things are the ones who are managing their activities and not really looking at the time of it, right? Number 3, create boundaries for interruptions. So on your computer, while you're at your desk, you may want to put your phone away. You may want to turn off any notifications that pop up on your computer, right? This will help you create that boundary so that you can intentionally spend 1 or 2 hours, whatever it is, doing productive activity. So make sure that you're creating those boundaries and you're sticking to them. Create a productive workspace is another tip that would give you. If you're sitting in the living room in front of the TV, how productive will you really be? You'll be distracted. Your mind is going to be aware of other sounds or movement that's happening around you. So you want to make sure that you've created a space, whether it's an office space. This is my office space here. But when I'm in here, I'm doing work and I'm productive. At times when we have guests, this is also our guest room, I have to work out in my room. I don't feel so productive. I actually feel a little tired because that's my sleep space. But when I'm here, I'm high energy and I'm productive. So create whatever that would look like for you so that you're setting yourself up in that productive space and your mind is ready to roll, okay? Also, it doesn't have to all be work. Make sure you're creating time for fun things or spontaneous things. Leave that open space. For me, I like to keep the weekends wide open. Maybe I might have 1 or 2 things. Maybe it's an appointment or I'm getting together with Alexis on working on a strategy on a Saturday morning. But for the most part, I don't put anything on my calendar because I like it to be go with the flow type of day. So what has happened before is that I'm so used to creating that space Saturday and Sunday as such that I don't want to be looking at the clock all the time, that when I've set appointments, I've missed them because I've conditioned myself to have my weekend as my free time to do spontaneously anything that I really want to do. Okay. Now the fourth thing, let me get this up. Overcome difficult tasks first. Okay. You've heard us talk about this before. Alexis calls this eat the frog. Eat the frog is do that difficult task first. Put a plan into action. And if you're getting up earlier, you're removing all the distractions and you're in that productive space, then that's the time that you want to have a plan to do the difficult tasks first. And if you're not doing that, then at the end of the day, you're not going to feel productive. You're going to feel more relieved and have more ahs than less ughs when you get the important tasks done. I think I've shown way back before, maybe I can bring that back again, but you can actually create a list of things that must get done during the week, and then circle the top 3 that if the week was to end, these are the top 3 that I must have done. If you start living and dying by that, you will find yourself much more productive, feeling more confident in yourself, feeling more influential, and will have you feeling like you've got it all together. Okay. It all comes down to the systems and how you show up, and it'll indirectly also affect your confidence, your influence, the self-respect you have for yourself and for others, and people look up to you, right? So that is essentially what we all want, right? Now, if there is one tool that I would offer you, and we give this to everyone we talk to because it is a tool that we use, high performers use every single day, is by asking ourselves 5 questions every day. And if you don't have time to ask yourself every single day, then you can at least do it once a week, and on a Sunday night maybe, to prepare yourself, or on a Friday afternoon to see where you are. But if you're looking for what those 5 questions are, good news is I've got them for you. They are on our website. You go to 𝐷𝐿SetCoach.com. At the very top, you'll see on the drop down, or at the top, you'll say assessment. Click on assessment, and you can put your name and email in and get the PDF that we use that has the 5 questions you should be asking yourselves to hit that next level in yourself, right? Hit that next level where you're avoiding distractions, you're waking up earlier, you're leveling up how you're performing. That's the tool that you need. So go to 𝐷𝐿SetCoach.com. At the very top, you'll see assessment. That's where you're going to get that tool that'll help you level up your game. It's asked you really powerful questions where you're rating yourself, and has the self-reflection that you should be doing if you're not doing, so that you can already discover what will work for you in your unique life, your unique lifestyle. And it's more customizable that works for you. Anyway, that's our office chats for today. Corner Office Chats is just me chatting with you all. Alexis will be back next week. Next week is July 1st, I think. And so she'll be back next week, and we've got more topics coming up. Let me see what we have planned for next week for you all. I should have had that up already. Advanced productivity for entrepreneurs. So more along on how do you keep achieving more. That's what people want during these next few weeks during the summer months, is productivity. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week on Corner Office Chats. Thanks so much for being here with us. If you're on later today, I do have a special guest that's going to be on around 4 p.m. Eastern. Her name is Kendra Toothill. She's actually my coach. So I'd love for you all to meet her. We've been doing some self-healing work, some scar work that has been really great for me, and I'd love to share that all with you. So check back at around 4 p.m. Eastern. I will have her here live in the Women Who Lead group. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.